Hello and welcome to our first episode of coverage of the 2021 Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge and Tuner's Edge Drag Battle at Cootamundra Airport. In this first episode, we will be doing a full overview of the GT-R Challenge, and then we will be going into detail of just how the Pro Street competitors went. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes, which will go into detail about every car and how all of the other categories went down. The Pro Street competitors broke the outright record 5 times in this event, ending in our first ever 7-second pass in what can only be described as an absolute nail-biter. But first, let's take a look at the winners of each category, and then we'll go into exactly how the Pro Street competition unfolded in this history-making GT-R Challenge.
For the 2021 Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge, we saw 34 of the quickest and fastest GT-Rs in Australia, and for the world for that matter, converge on Cootamundra Airport, a sleepy little town almost halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. We had 5 R35 GT-Rs, 7 automatic equipped True Street GT-Rs, and a massive field of 18 manual transmission equipped True Street GT-Rs. Plus, we had 4 Pro Street GT-R monsters. In the R35 category, the anticipated showdown was between the country's quickest street-registered R35, Regan's Artillery from Precision Racing, and the quickest R35 at Cootamundra Airport, Lance's Mad 35. Regan had some electrical issues and Lance took the R35 category win with an 8.8 at 173 miles per hour. In the 2.6 block category, there was 1 automatic, 2 H patterns and 2 sequentials. Justin Dean in On Song from Birrong Automotive smashed his PB and took the win of the category with a 9.105 at 159.57 miles per hour. The Just Engine Management True Street 3-litre block manual class was the biggest, with 14 cars in total. Sequentials ruled supreme, with 11 of the 14 running sequentials from PPG, Albans, Samsonis, Hollinger and OS88. The record coming into the event was an 8.756. This wouldn't be broken, and only 1 manual car went into the 8s. David's R32 GT-R from Croydon Racing Developments, fresh off going 8.2 at the track. The quickest H-pattern True Street GT-R was once again Con Pili from Matux Racing in his R32. The True Street Automatic GT-R class was hotly contested once again and came down to less than 100th of a second. Anthony Macquarie in No Stories from Matux Racing went 8.579 at a crazy 173 miles per hour. But the winner of True Street GT-R for the 2021 Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge was Ben Medjulak from IPM Racing in Canberra in Killer GT-R with an 8.570. So close to the True Street outright record of 8.512. The battle for Pro Street at the 2021 Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge continued between the top three workshops on the leaderboard: Motorsports Mechanical, Croydon Racing Developments, and Matux Racing. The main difference between True Street and Pro Street is that Pro Street cars can run on methanol due to their high power levels and use a side pipe, as well as a few other more relaxed rules, but make no mistake, the Pro Street cars are still full-bodied with full interior, complete exterior, and run on radial tyres as well. In fact, these Pro Street GT-Rs all have custom interiors that could take trophies at car shows and put many street cars to shame. These are the pinnacle of Skyline GT-Rs in both power and quarter-mile development, with what the workshops learn from these cars being passed down to their customers' street cars. At the track, two workshops and cars are into the sixes in what has been a tit-for-tat battle for multiple years now, with neither giving up. Nader's King 32 from Matux Racing has gone 6.8 at 210 miles per hour, and recently Robert Margin with Jun 2 from Croydon Racing Developments took the number one spot with a 6.771 at a stonking 212 miles per hour. But coming into the event, the number one spot at Cootamundra belongs to Motorsports Mechanical and Andrews MSM RH7 with an 8.227 at 182.93 miles per hour. There has been talk about running a 7 at Cootamundra for a few years now, but 8.3s and 8.2s were starting to look like the limit. Could that barrier be broken this year was the big question on everyone's lips. First up, let's take a look at the newest Pro Street contender, Rob's MSM Jet R35 GT-R. The car went 8.0 at 177 on its very first pass at the track in late 2020 and should be in the 7s by the time you watch this. The Midnight Purple R33 is pretty standard on the outside, with a motive headlight duct to let the cool air in, and the guards lightly modified to fit the 15-inch World drag rims with 275 60/15 Mickey Thompson ET Street R tyres. The chute on the back is a necessity. Step inside, and Concept Garage have worked their magic on the custom trimmed interior. Under the bonnet is where the true artwork really is. A Bullet Race Engineering RB30 dry sumped wet deck billet block with Nitto 3.2 stroker kit and a CNC ported head with oversized valves, double valve springs and Kelford cams that are over 300 degrees in duration and required a lot of clearancing to fit with the amount of lift they have. There's Hypertune billet rocker covers, and in between is a Renew Automotive IGN1 coil kit. The Garrett GTX 55 Turbo sits on a 6-boost manifold with twin GFB EX50 external wastegates. It uses a CPC inlet manifold with dual fuel rails and a mechanical fuel pump on methanol. MSM Jet uses a FuelTech FT600 ECU with a Motec digital dash, and there is a Turbo 400 behind it down to the stock rear diff and subframe. It can make in excess of 2,000 horsepower on 70 psi. The other car in the MSM stable, and the current number one, is Andrew's MSM RH7. The car has gone deep into the sevens at the track and is closer to a true street car than Pro Street. In fact, all it needs to go back to True Street is to put a full exhaust back on the car, as it runs on E98 rather than methanol. The nitrous is used just to get the turbo on boost, but it also has a water meth injection kit to help with intake air temps when running over 55 pounds of boost. Outside, it runs a Motive headlight duct to feed cool air to the turbo and runs Mickey Thompson Radial Pro tyres on 15-inch World Racing rims. The interior has been re-trimmed and uses Kirky seats for safety. It also uses a Bullet Race Engineering RB30 wet deck billet block with dry sump and a Nitto 3.2 litre stroker kit. The head is ported with oversized valves, double valve springs, and also with monster Calford cams. A Precision Pro Mod 94mm turbo sits on a 6-boost exhaust manifold with Turbo Smart external wastegates. It uses a Hypertune V2 inlet manifold and radiator with dual fuel rail and mechanical fuel pump. The Hypertune billet cam covers also have a Renew Automotive IGN1 coil pack kit. It runs a Haltech Elite 2500 with a Motec digital dash and makes just under 1,700 horsepower. It's currently number one at Cootamundra with an 8.227 at 182.93 miles per hour. Next up, Jun 2 and King 32. Both are proven 6-second monsters at the track and step things up a notch, both running dry deck billet blocks, Pro Mod turbos over 100mm, tubular subframes, 9-inch diffs, and now over 2,000 horsepower. All required at this level of competition to party in the 6-second bracket at over 210 miles per hour. Nader's King 32 runs a custom front bar, drag wing, twin chutes, and the guards are massaged to fit the 275 Radial Pro tyres. The custom Matux Racing beadlock wheels are a nice touch. Inside, Concept Garage have done an incredible job re-trimming the interior, which features custom carbon dash, centre console and door trims, which match the carbon panels and carbon seats to help keep the weight down. Under the hood, it's all business. A Bullet Race Engineering billet block to Matux Racing specs is dry decked and dry sumped with a Nitto 3.2 stroker kit inside. Dry decked means that no water passes between the block and the head. So in the event of a head sealing issue, there is no risk of water going into the cylinder head or oil gallery, or worse, out the side of the block and under the tyres. The water from the radiator is split into two separate systems, one through the block and one through the head. The turbo is a Precision Pro Mod of undisclosed size over 100mm and sits on a 6-boost exhaust manifold and blows 70 odd pound of boost to make a little over 2,250 horsepower with a little bit of nitrous. Something also needed to get it up on boost against the converter in the Turbo 400 transmission. It uses a Plasmaman intercooler and Hypertune V2 inlet manifold with twin fuel rails and mechanical fuel pump. The ECU was recently changed to a Haltech Nexus and it uses an IC7 digital dash. The car uses tubular subframes and suspension arms to save weight and help with setup, and has a 9-inch diff up the back. Now, Robert Margin's Jun 2 from Croydon Racing Developments. Jun 2 runs the factory rear wing for a more stock look, but runs Ganador mirrors and a custom front bar that moulds the lip and closes off the side vents for better aero and less drag. It also uses carbon panels to keep the weight down and 15-inch drag wheels with Mickey Thompson Radial Pro tyres. You can see the chrome moly subframe, which saves weight and helps with geometry setup, as well as the 9-inch diff. Inside, Jun 2 also has a complete custom trimmed interior and a carbon dash. Under the hood is a Bullet Race Engineering billet block that is dry deck and, just like the others, dry sumped. The CRD race ported head is on top, But don't let the stock crank angle sensor housing fool you. There is a custom sensor inside as well as a crank trigger as well. The Precision Pro Mod Turbo is over 100mm as well and blows through a Hypertune intercooler into their billet drag inlet manifold. It also uses dual fuel rails, but with 18 injectors, and it has a mechanical fuel pump. It runs a Motec ECU and digital dash and is capable of making power approaching 2,500. You've seen the cars, now let's see how they went at the 2021 Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge. Mick Mansour hit the runway first in MSM Jet for its very first pass down the runway. It was a pretty wild run and he got out of it early after a few pedals, but the scary part is it was still a 9.3. Andrew came out in MSM RH7 next, set up the same as its record run but a little less power. Andrew was able to hold it flat and took the lead of Pro Street. 8.390 at 176 miles per hour was a good starting point for the motorsports mechanical team. MSM Jet was back out next, but it was another wild run and Mick got out of it. Jun 2 has a revised setup from the last time it was here. After going 6.7 a week earlier at the track, the car would be hard to get a handle on, and the first two runs were rather wild. Andrew was back out next in MSM RH7, turned up slightly more to ease into it, and it worked.
Not easy, eh? I don't know, honestly, it's back to where we started. We're out on boost. I don't know what mile an hour did it go?
181.
181. So we're back up now. We're still another 8 mile an hour away. Look, to be honest with you, I don't think there's an 8.0 or 8.1 here. Maybe a low 8.2, maybe a high 8.1, but
But you're going to try, right?
oh, we're going to send them. No one said we're not going to send them.
You're doing it smart, you're creeping up now.
Slowly, because we realised obviously we went 8.3 before we had 175 mile an hour. It's not all about horsepower at the moment. But now we just put, I think, 3 or 4 pound of boost in it, and he picked up 5 or 6 mile an hour. So we're going to put it back where it really is at 190, and we'll see. We'll slowly go forward and back with it.
Anthony Matuk was out next in King 32. The car is known for its wild runs, but they needed to tame it if they wanted a chance at the record. MSM Jet was out next for its third run of the day, but the car just didn't want to be tamed. Rob tried again in June 2, but it was more of the same. Anthony had a couple of goes at it, but King 32 also remained hard to tame down Cootamundra Airport's runway. Andrew brought MSM RH7 back out at the end of the day with a fraction more power, and the process of easing into it worked.
A201, 182.92.
Congratulations,
We'll
mate.
let
That's a new
a bit.
record. That's your new PB, new record.
Thanks,
Still
bro.
#1. Backed it up.
Thank
Well
you.
done, bro. Well done.
Anthony Matuk wanted one last shot as well.
So you got a new PB of 8.2 and 185 mile an hour is the new mile an hour record, buddy.
Not bad. We just changed the ECU, so that was our second pass. So to get it all together in a couple of passes, we're happy. Bring it on tomorrow.
Are you pumped? You think have you got a 7 or you think it's an 8.0 or what are you thinking?
Believe it or not, we actually pulled power out for once, and the car went faster. So I need to pull more power out. So,
185, dude. That's the mile an hour record.
well done.
And it's a PB, bro. Well done. I know you worked hard.
Wasn't my hat.
At the end of day one, Andrew in MSM RH7 was in the lead and reset the record to 8.20. Nader's King 32 was in second place at the event and now second place outright with an 8.239 as well as the new mile per hour record of 185.19. Rob's MSM Jet and Robert Margin's Jun 2 both didn't get a full clean pass on day one. Overnight, all the teams looked over their data, checked over their cars. Rob did a steering rack change and got Jun 2 ready for day 2 of competition. Rob's Jun 2 was the first car out in the morning doing a half pass to make sure the car was all good after replacing the steering rack. Mick came out next in MSM Jet and got the car into the 8s. Raiders King 32 was out next. Anthony actually bogged down a little on the start line before the car came on strong and had some wheel spin, so he didn't go as quick. MSM RH7 was out for another crack, but an electrical issue caused a drop cylinder. Crazily, it still ran an 8.3. Rob in Jun 2 was out again and finally got in a full pass. Mick was next in MSM Jet. King 32 was next, but had some issues on the start line. A broken oil reservoir cap caused the leak that they luckily picked up on, but back in the pits they discovered a broken shaft and some other gearbox issues, so the team got to work. The Motorsports mechanical team sorted out the electrical issue in MSM RH7, and it paid off.
We only interview you when you break a record, buddy. 816. How you feeling?
Very good, mate. Very good.
Mick, how are you feeling?
Good, man, good. We've been battling with it all weekend, and yeah, we're still down on power. We've taken a lot out of it. Ah, King 32's here. Oh, no. Hey, someone tell that guy to go home.
Congratulations, buddy, PB and BB. How is it? How do you feel?
I still did the other two records, but we're going.
Wait, tell the viewers, what did you just have to do in the last half an hour to get ready again?
Well, if we wanted to keep him alive, we had to fix the wheel leaks for starters, but we had converter dumps off the box, we had broken drive shafts. That's just to name a few things, but mate, it always makes us work and it just made us work again. And we ain't going to stop, we're still going to keep working.
You got it back, bro, you got it back.
Number one, mother. Number one.
Rob tried again in June 2, but was still struggling to keep it straight and fight some slipping in the gearbox. MSM RH7 had the misfire return in his third run, so he aborted the pass. MSM Jet was back out and went quicker again. Mixed time in Rob's R33 just pipped his own R33 at Cootamundra and put the car into the top 5. Rob headed out again in June 2, but still no luck getting down to where he needed to be. Andrew tried one more time in MSM RH7, but the issue continued and he aborted the run and packed it up. Robert Margin was having issues also and had to abort his next run. During the lunch break, the Matooks racing crew got King 32 fixed and came out swinging, resetting the record once again.
I owe 191 more. Yeah! Yeah, 1 second, I need my hat. Wait. Yeah, mate!
Dude, 8-0.
We did. That was even scary. The last one was scarier.
191 at Cootamundra.
It's pretty sickening, if you think of it.
It's disgusting. Your brakes are on fire. They were literally glowing red before, bro.
We've done good, man. We've done good. 8-0?
8-0 at 191.
mile an hour.
That's incredible.
That's not even like, you can't even, it doesn't even make sense, eh?
This is
Can
ridiculous.
you show me what we're racing on? Right.
Asphalt.
Wow.
Asphalt.
We've got to run a 7, man.
You want to go again, don't you?
I have to go again. I ain't stopping to run a 7 or roll the car. Two
All
things.
right.
Only option we have here, mate.
But you just broke the record twice today.
Oh, well done, mate.
Well done.
What a
That is
thing.
exceptional, brother.
God bless you. We love you all, mate.
Anthony was on a mission to be the first into the 7s and everyone held their breath on the next run.
What was it?
8-1.
With the 7s so close, the Matooks racing team tried everything, even helping make sure the start line was as clean as possible. Anything to get that little edge and get the job done.
Be safe.
I'm going to give it a go.
Window hand.
Go up.
once again, when Anthony staged, everyone watching held their breath in anticipation.
What did I tell you? We ain't gonna stop working ever! How did that feel? Yeah! Well done, boys. Love you. Number one!
Where do we even start with this, boys? How long ago did we talk about the idea of a 7 here? How long ago? 4 years?
4 years ago.
I think it was 4 years?
4 years ago.
It was what, when we saw the first 8.3, we said one day there's a 7, and far out it was hard work, right?
Way too hard. Then I thought we're gonna get we had to put so much more power just to make up for the beginning. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You can talk about we were going 8.1 at 182 mile an hour.
Yeah.
So we were to pick up 210. We had to put another 300 or 400 horsepower in the car.
It's obviously been a lot of work for you to just keep pushing through. Man, I've got to ask, what is it that makes you just keep pushing and go quicker? What is it?
Robbed. Both robbed.
Yeah.
Our Rob and Croydon Rob. We're done for Kuta with King, but the track we sort of gone
We'll
for
never come back here again. That's it. We're done. We're out.
You done?
We've cemented our name in history. It's good luck whoever can catch it.
You'll always be the first GT-R and first car to run a 7 at Cootamundra. That'll never change. And mate, I don't even know how hard that's going to be to catch, because that was incredible.
car.
Yep, first 300k an hour car here too.
No Lambo, no nothing gets better.
Yeah, we're done, man.
Incredible. Nada, hold on to that.
Well done, man. Thanks for the event, bro. We love it.
Got to thank Anthony Prawn and all the.
It doesn't matter how much sleep we lose in the last 2 weeks, but we always get here. We always put on a show, and we always do it.
Always put on a show.
Mate, I've got to give it to you guys. You work harder than no one can work harder. Impossible than what you guys do to get here.
More than these guys.
Thanks, man. Legend. Thanks, boys.
Well done, mate. Once again, well done. At the end of an exciting weekend, this is how the leaderboard looked for Pro Street in the Platinum Racing Products GT-R Challenge. And here is how the outright leaderboard now looks at Cootamundra. Matook's Racing back on top, and they fill 5 of the top 10 spots, with Anthony Macquarie joining the top 10 in No Stories. Motorsports Mechanical still fills 2 of the top 10 spots and is second outright. Jun 2 still in third outright, and Ben Medjlak joins the top 10 from IPM Racing, and we still have one R35 in there with Lance Warren's Mad 35.
A 7-second pass at 197 miles per hour on an asphalt runway with no prep is absolutely mind-boggling. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned for the rest of our coverage. Next up, we have the drag battle overview and then the Turbo Smart Ultimate Street Car before we cover off each car in detail in the category features. Bye for now. You're only allowed to put 2 bloopers in.
First 7, number 1!
Nah, all right, I think I'm done.
790 at 197 of garbage.
Wait, for
How does that even make sense?
no prep, no VHT,
It's
no
called
nothing.
kara. In English.